Kessel with the beard or without the beard? I think with the beard.
With the beard.
All right.
Down to the wire.
What's up, guys? I'm Andrés Franken.
And I'm Shawn de Silva.
And this is Down to the Wire.
Today's video is about the NHL season preview, and this is called Pucks and Pancakes. We're going to go through a series of topics, just running through the NHL and previewing what's to come in the year ahead.
Pucks and Pancakes. What is that? It's brand new. The idea is that we have all these pancakes in front of us, and we have this wonderful Maple Leafs hat with 5 NHL players. Throughout the duration of the video, we are going to attempt to draw these NHL players on pancakes.
I suggested logos, but he thought it was too easy. So
come on, man. That's not a challenge. Everybody knows what it's going to look like.
All right. Phil Kessel.
Of course. For our first topic, Stanley Cup favorites.
For my cup favorite, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Penguins repeating as champs. When you're able to dress 3 solid lines with 3 amazing talents on each line, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Phil Kessel, you're going to be a contender. When you have that much depth in your lineup, you're going to score a lot of goals. Their only weakness that I feel that the Pittsburgh Penguins have is their defense. When it comes to their second and third defensive pairings, they aren't as strong. I feel like that could be their downfall. If they can somehow lock up a top 3 defenseman during the season, they can definitely win this cup again.
My team for Stanley Cup favorite is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nobody has won back-to-back cups in quite a while. The last time somebody did it was the Detroit Red Wings in 97-98. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to pull it off again. Sure, they have all-stars in all 3 of their lines, but I think Tampa Bay actually has more well-balanced scoring. Last season, they pushed the Pittsburgh Penguins to 7 games, despite having Stamkos out almost the entire playoffs. If they were able to push Pittsburgh to 7 games without Steven Stamkos, I think they can go all the way this year. They've been a perennial contender for a while now. Like I mentioned, balanced scoring. Aside from Stamkos, they have Jonathan Drouin coming up, who could be really big this season. Ryan Callahan, Tyler Johnson. On top of that, they have one of the best goalie pairings in the NHL with Ben Bishop and Vasilevsky, and they have a really good top defensive lineup as well. Stamkos could have left this summer, but he decided not to. He believes in this team, and I think there are few NHL teams that are as motivated as the Tampa Bay Lightning to win a cup.
Who do you see as your most improved team in the NHL?
My most improved team will be the Calgary Flames. They have a really young core that's super talented. They have Monahan and they have Gaudreau. I think they're just going to keep getting better. They added an all-star goalie in Brian Elliott, something that they really needed because Calgary finished last the previous year in goals against. And that's going to complement a really strong defensive lineup as well there. With Giordano and with Brody. I think they'll be back in the NHL playoffs this season.
As much as I want to say the Toronto Maple Leafs because they have improved, and Leaf fans, you should be excited for this season, I'm going to pick a different team and go with the Florida Panthers. This team has been improving slowly for a while now. This offseason, they went and got Keith Yandel, they got Jason Demers, and they got a backup goalie in James Reimer. These additions, along with those pieces that they already have, can make them go far in the playoffs. Keith Yandel is especially going to help them when it comes to their power play and their penalty kill. Then you have James Reimer as your backup goalie, along with Roberto Luongo. Roberto Luongo just had off-season hip surgery. He's going to be recovering from that. Without the pressure of the Toronto media, especially, it's going to help Reimer so much. He's going to take a lot of minutes away from Luongo, and that's going to help Luongo in the long run when it comes to recovering from this hip surgery. And if they can lock up Jonathan Huberdeau long term, this team might not be a contender this year, but in the following season and year after that, they're going to keep developing, and I think they're going to get stronger and stronger and eventually become a cup contender. Moving on to topic number 3. The Art Ross Trophy is given at the end of the year to the top point getter in the NHL. Who do you got to win the Art Ross Trophy?
My Art Ross winner is Patrick Kane. Unlike a lot of the top lines in the NHL, he is the undisputed number 1 guy on his line. He finished first in the NHL, 17 points ahead of Jamie Benn, and I think we're going to see a repeat of that.
I'm going to go with Sidney Crosby because my prediction is Pittsburgh's going to win the cup. And Crosby's going to be a huge part of them getting there. When it comes to Sidney Crosby, he had a very uncharacteristic season last year. He started the season with 5 points in a month, I believe. When it came to the Christmas break, as soon as that break was done, he hit a reset button, and it was Crosby, as we all are used to. The guy was on fire last season. He led them to the playoffs. He led them to the cup. Going into this season, especially with the World Cup of Hockey, we saw Sidney Crosby at his best. He was determined. He was strong on the puck. He was setting up chances. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the whole season.
Final topic. Teams on the decline.
Montreal Canadiens. That feels good to say.
It's a little biased.
Considering that they were a contender 2 years ago, when you start off the season last year the way they did, 9 straight wins. That's an NHL record. Went in November 25th, I believe, with 34 out of a possible 44 points. It makes me laugh that your number one goalie gets injured and your team goes to shit. As much as I love Carey Price, he is an amazing goalie. The guy can't do it all. Carey Price went down and Montreal went down with him. The Montreal Canadiens are supposed to be a contender, and when you're a contender, you should be able to compete even if your number one goalie is injured. When it came to goals for, they finished 16th, and goals against, they finished 21st in the NHL. That is terrible stats for a team that was once a contender. You can complain all you want that, oh, Carey Price was injured, but like that's the point. Your goalie should not have to do all the work. It feels like Carey Price, as good as he is, was carrying this team for a long time. Along with that, they also got rid of PK Subban, which made no sense to me. They brought in an older and more expensive version of him in Shea Weber. Then they got rid of Lars Eller. Overall, I think this team is a mess. God forbid if Carey Price goes down, they brought in Montoya to be the backup. That's not a great backup. He doesn't compare to Carey Price at all. Now, you're not going to get a goalie that compares to Carey Price. It just shows that this team is heading for a downfall. They aren't going to be as good as they once were.
My team on the decline, and I hate to say this because it's a team that I like, is the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They haven't made too many great additions in the offseason. Their go-to guys, Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, are not getting any younger. Their numbers have been declining for a couple of years. They need help. They don't have a lot of secondary scoring. Carlisle's behind the bench again for them, who they've had success with in the past, but I don't think the coach is going to be enough to push this team forward. They also have trouble in net. They don't really have a number one elite goalie. They got Bernier, which, as we saw here in Toronto, really struggled in net. Or trying to get that number one job. We'll see if he returns to the success in Anaheim. I don't think so. And then they have Gibson, who is also unexperienced, relatively unexperienced, and I don't think he's a number one elite goalie either. They did finish top of their division last year. Definitely don't see that happening again. I think they can make the playoffs, even if they are on a decline. I don't think they're going to crash out. They're just not going to be as good.
Our Phil Kessels are almost complete, if not complete, I guess.
I'm good.
I mean, they look like Halloween versions of Phil Kessel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Please let us know what you did like and didn't like so that we can keep making improvements to our videos.
That's it for today's video. See you guys later.